All right, there we go. That's a lot better. All right, guys. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to Some Random Guy Speaks. I am your host, Tony G, and we're about to get started today. I'm in my car. This is going to be leveling up. You know, this is a term popularized by the late great Moses McCormick. Shout out to the late Moses McCormick. This brother here was a YouTube influencer as well. When it came down to language, I mean, this guy here was one of those polymorphs, as they call him, the guy that can learn multiple language. And with his IQ, I mean, he learned it and things like that, and he learned it very well. Yeah, so I'll talk to him later. So yeah, with his IQ, I mean, this guy learned Mandarin Chinese. Now, his wife was it was actually I should say at the time his wife was actually from Taiwan. So so he had an advantage. I think he met her after high school and things like that. So, and we're talking about leveling up, ladies and gentlemen. Trying to, for those that are going to be traveling, I'm not going to use passport anything no more. Passport bros and all that. That has been ran through. That's garbage now. It's all been ran through. So we don't need to be worrying about that no more because the YNs have taken that over. So there's no point of constantly talking about passport bros, this and that. Let them have that. Let them have that term and everything because it does appear that most of those brothers are on something different. And here we're talking about a travel community. We're talking about positive. We're talking about besides traveling, where we're talking about besides learning the language, getting fit, and exploring. Exploring different cultures. The food is one of my favorites, and this is the stuff that we're going to be talking about. Things that these other guys should have been talking about, but that's passe, man. We don't, like I said, it's a term that I'm not going to be using anymore. If you notice, if you put passport bros in the taglines, it's a lot of negative stuff, man. Like with everything else, it's just been ran through, and I already did lives about that, so it's no point of keep rehashing that. But what we're going to be talking about is leveling up, and I learned that from Moses McCormick, the late great Moses McCormick. What you see right here, this is one of my books on Japanese here. I've been exposed to Japanese ever since I was in high school. And there's a guy by the name of Toshi Matsumoto. This was this one kid that we were in homeroom together, and he was a Japanese exchange student. And he was the one that exposed me to learning Japanese. And this is the book. This is one of my books. This is a book that Moses McCormick recommended. This particular book here, Teach Yourself Japanese. And let me see here. I believe everything they have like books and CDs, but it's all under the heading Teach Yourself Japanese, Teach Yourself Korean. But this particular book here, and then he recommended this one. This is a very good book for learning language, and this is what once again what these other brothers should be on instead of just looking like creeps and freaks and freakos. You should be on learning the language, man, because when you learn, this will get you. If you're looking for a wife or whatever your goals are, or you just want to travel and just be able to communicate with people, this right here would do it. Recommend that book because that's what was recommended as well from the late great Moses McCormick. But as we dive on and things like that, no matter which country you fellas are trying to visit and things like that, yeah, you want to get into a language, man. You need to level up and things, and like I said, if it's Thai, Tagalog, which is in the Philippines, Korean, any of these African countries as well. No matter where you're trying to go, you want to basically have some type of solidify your foot in the language because once again, language is culture. So here we are here and things. I appreciate you coming in on the live and things like that. So everything is going to be nice and positive. We're going to talk about all the wonderful things. Now I do plan on going to Japan next year, so I've been putting some money aside, saving up some money for the trip and be able to have my experiences. And I'm gonna put some stuff on video to share with you guys once I touch down in Japan. I want to go to Okinawa though too. I done heard a lot of great things about Okinawa as well though. In fact, Okinawa is one of those places where most of the Japanese people already know English, you know, as a secondary language from a prerequisites. There's a lot of military over there as well. I had a friend of mine that been stationed in Japan in Okinawa, so he ran everything down to me and stuff like that. He's been all over the world because he's a Marine, you know. So, you know, I got quite a few Marine buddies that I do know and things like that. So he said if it's something in regards to a wife, if you're fed up with dealing with the Western feminine mindset, then yeah, this would be a place to travel. And this is once again, this is what these brothers and this passport crap stuff, that's what they should been on, man. I like calling it the travel community because it sounds so much friendlier, it sounds so much better, and it's not exclusive, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I mean inclusive. It's more exclusive than inclusive, you know? So that's what I really like about that. So no matter who you are, if you enjoy traveling, I encourage you to level up. Like I said, with this book right here, this book on Japanese. This is a very, very good book. And I got another one too that I had for years. I got all type of, you know, bookmarks and stuff in there, which I'm going to get back into. Now, I have taken private lessons with Mandarin Chinese as well a while back. But there's a lot of things that I still retain as well because Mandarin Chinese is one of the most, I think it's a level 5 language, but it's a very difficult language to learn. You know what I'm saying? So, so that's what we're going to be talking about travel, talking about leveling up, trying, you basically, you know, putting some work in, you know, exploring the culture, you know, and things like that. This is what these other guys should have been talking about because you're going to lose a lot of people, offend people, you know. You know, I'm actually tired of looking at the videos, which I don't even watch them no more, and things because those guys are selling a fantasy, you know, grifting, selling a fantasy, oh how, you know, and all this other crap when it's about not looking like a creep or a freako or weirdo and just like regular people. You know, like I said, when I've been traveling, we never called it that. We never called it passport bros. I was just a guy with a passport traveling. That's what I'm gonna stand on. You know, all this other stuff, man. Like I said before, it's something that we're gonna get away from. Get away from that word and deal with what I'm talking about. So the first things first. So Japanese. This is the alphabet, which I find very interesting because they have a way of phonetically talking about the words in Japanese where you automatically have a Japanese accent when you once you learn like this. There's the sound chart is what they call it. These are what they call how to pronunciate syllables, right? So if we were to go through it real quick, just for some of it. So the sound chart goes a little like this: a, e, u, e, o, ka, ki, ku, ke, ko, sa, shi, su, se, so, ta, chi, tu, se, te, to. Yeah, te, to. There it is. Na, ni, nu, ne, no, ha, he, fu, he, ho, ma, mi, mu, me, mo. Right. So these are what we call the sound charts. Right. So it's equivalent to our syllables, but theirs is a little different. And when you start to learn this, it'll help you be able to sound out and figure out how to pronunciate the words. When you say konnichiwa, right? So that's a pretty popular one that most people know by now, you know, right? So konnichiwa gozaimasu, right? So that's a very popular one. And then they got some other things here too. And like I said, I'm going to get back into my studying again because, you know, this is stuff that's very, very important, right? Yeah, Hajime Mashite, which is pleased to meet you, right? So the stuff is very formal. Dozo, right, means please, right? So you have doze and kudasai, which also means please. Kudasai, if I'm correct, it has to do with being more formal. It's a formal way of saying please, you know. So yeah, I find it to be very interesting in language in general. But this book right here, ladies and gentlemen, will get your foot in the door in learning the culture when it comes down to Japanese and things like that. So this is a very good book from the late great Moses McCormick, and I'm gonna show you guys. I'm gonna show actually one person. I'm gonna show you really who this guy is. It's right here, and we're gonna listen to what he has to say. He's passed away. He left us. Hold on for a minute. Go ahead and skip that. Oh, hold on for a minute, guys. Hold on for a minute. I gotta put him up on the stage. Hey boy. All right, let's do this again. I knew that. All right, hold on for a minute. Share screen. Let's do that. Let's share the tab. All right. Okay, guys. I think I got I got it shared now. There we go. All right. This is
Good day, ladies and
Moses
gentlemen.
McCormick.
Welcome to my channel. My name is Moses McCormick. In today's video, as you can see, I'm going to be talking about, what's the best way to learn a foreign language? This is a very common question I've gotten lately and just in general over the years. A lot of people are curious to know what is the best way to learn a foreign language. And I think this particular question is posed by beginners, those who don't have experience learning languages. They're just now getting into language learning. So the best way, as we know, there is no best way. Putting that out there, saying that this is the best way, that's the best way, is really going out on a limb, because everyone has their own opinions when it comes to this. Everyone learns differently. So just saying that this is the best way may not be a good idea, because someone else may disagree with it. However, I will say that there is a best way for you. There's a best way for me. Okay, there's a best way for me. There may be a best way for me, but it may not work for you. All right. So in this video, I'm going to talk about that and what's the best way for me, my approach that I like to take when starting a language. Now, the first thing I like to do before I even start learning a language is, for whatever I intend on learning, I need to check out the population. I need to see what those numbers are looking like in my city or this my state in general. This is very important, because I think interaction face-to-face with native speakers is more motivating. You have more things happen. People invite you over for dinner. They introduce you to their friends. I mean, there's a lot more things that can happen than if you practice over the internet, which is a good thing. Practicing over the internet is also good. Okay, so that's the first thing I like to do. And I'm going to use Somali as an example, since that's my most active language, by the way. So I'm living in Columbus, Ohio, and we have the second largest population of Somali people.
Okay, hold on for one moment here. I just want to put it on pause. So for those that may not know him, he was one of the early adapters. Actually, taught language and things like this. His brother was teaching language, self-taught on a lot of these other language, because he solidified his foot in Mandarin Chinese, Cantonese, Japanese, and I do believe Korean. There's some other ones out there as well. This guy here, like I said, I looked up to this guy. I got a friend of mine, because I'm over here in Detroit, Michigan area, which because he was a big gamer. I got a friend of mine that know him personally. So they used to go to a lot of the gaming things and stuff like that. But this brother here in the early, I want to say 2007, 2008. It was an early, early things with YouTube. If you look back on the date when I signed up, I think it was 2007 or 8, somewhere around there. It could have been 2008, 2009, somewhere around there with YouTube. But he was one of the early adopters though, and so he also encouraged people, taught, and he was making money. And they would do like leveling up classes and stuff. So that's where I kind of came up with the term, because of him leveling up, which we should be doing. But let's go back to the video here.
Perfect opportunity to learn Somali language. So many opportunities to practice the language. If you guys have followed me, follow my progress through the leveling up videos, you see that there are so many Somali people here. So there is no problem when it comes to leveling up, finding people to practice with face to face. All right. So that's taken care of for me for Somali. Now, the second thing is resources. Okay. You need to, okay, those are the most important things. Those two things there, you need to, the population of the people and the resources. Those things are going to be vital when it comes to learning a language. All right. So let me show you some resources that I have for the Somali language right now. So first of all,
just think about it here.
Course, colloquial Somali.
Hold on for a minute. Put that on pause for a minute. This brother here was doing it though, man. He was fire when he was alive. When he was around, man, he was fire, man. He gained the attention of a lot of people. His channel was growing and blowing up because, like I said before, this guy was learning. He was leveling up and learning the language, man. And he had the respect of a lot of different people from different backgrounds, and they backed him up. When he didn't say a word correctly, they taught him how to say it right. You know what I'm saying? So we got to be, I'm just encouraging other people. It ain't that hard to learn a language if you just commit a little time and stuff like that. Like I said, I did a year's worth private Mandarin Chinese lessons, because of this guy here, and like I said, I went on and took the classes and things like that, because my teacher, Mei Fan is my teacher from Hubei, China, so which is near Wuhan, near Hunan too, right? So that's the thing about it though. It's something to open up, cold approach as well, meeting people. Ni hao ma, they say wo heng hao, and then it's like ni jiao si my means it, which I'm asking them for their name. And then they'll tell me their name, and then I'll say, Wal Zhao, Tony, Ta Zhao, if I got another friend with me. So these are the things that I like when you're in another country and things like that. I have gotten so many compliments from people that speak Mandarin Chinese people, because they say that my pronunciation is on point because I had a very good teacher, and then I committed time learning and things like that. So I do pick up other words, but I always tell them mama hoo, and they know what that means. When I say mama hoo, they know that means so in Mandarin Chinese, but they laugh and they're shocked at the same time, because that's not a language. That's not something that the average foreigner is supposed to know. You know what I'm saying? So like if I'm hungry or something, you know what I'm saying? Nicha falama, mayo means that I have not eaten. You know what I'm saying? It's like stuff like that. When we're able to converse and talk with someone of another country. And then once again, this is what the so-called passport bros should be on, Now, thing about it is that when you learn a language, it separates you from everybody else. You know what I'm saying? It says that I'm not over here on some sex pack type stuff, going crazy, running through the women and all this other stuff. It lets them know that, okay, he's over here. And then when I'm traveling, I'm planning on going to China too. because I got a friend of mine from Harbin, Heilongjiang, right? So it's the north part, north of Beijing, very north by Russia. Now, everybody told me never go in the wintertime because their weather is like our weather, very cold here in Michigan, which I don't plan on doing that anyway. Anytime I plan to go somewhere, the weather is going to be nice. I'm not trying to go to a freeze box. But if you were to pull up Harbin, Harbin, or actually Heilongjiang, it actually means Black Dragon River. They're known for their ice sculptures over there, and they have an influence of Russia. Russia helped build their city over there. I'll say a Harbin population is about, I would say, probably about 8 or 9 million people, which is a lot to U.S. standards. But when you start looking at other big cities like Chongqing, which is about 20 million people, believe it or not, So you start looking at that, Shanghai, Beijing, you know what I'm saying? You start looking at these other big cities, they have a large population of Chinese over there, though, man. You know what I'm saying? 20 million in one city alone. There's another city that rivals them too. But yeah, so that's the thing about it, though. Encouraging people to level up, especially if you're going to be traveling, So you want to go into these places. And like I said, it helps to be fluent enough to understand, to be able to read it and things. I was learning the kanji, like the calligraphy and everything like that, the Chinese calligraphy and stuff, because, like I said, but a lot of stuff, you go in these international cities, a lot of Chinese people know, like the younger Chinese people, like the Zennial generation, they all speak English, and they speak it quite well because they got that program, that teaching program over there where they all learning English like Japanese, the JET program. And I know a brother that was doing that in Japan, you know what I'm saying? And I thought about it, I thought about that. But yeah, so that's the thing about it, ladies and gentlemen, man. When we are thinking about the language aspects of it, man, to be able to level up, to be able to understand the culture. And I asked a lot of questions about China, man, in Pacific, 5,000 years of Chinese history. They had an emperor by the name of Emperor Qing, of the Qing dynasty, right? He was the first emperor of China, yeah, right? So he was the guy that unified China because China was rival with other kingdoms. He was the one that unified China, right? So this is why when you see like all these other dynasties and things like that, the Qing dynasty is the first dynasty of China. That is factually true, 5,000 years of Chinese history. So yeah, so with the Chinese, we have a lot of things over there, when it come down to language, culture, when it come down to a written history, they go back a long time. So they're one of the countries that actually have a written history, if you were to pull it up and things like that. So a lot of their Chinese medicine and everything, they've been practicing this forms of medicine for a very long time. Acupuncture, everybody heard of that. They got a lot of different things that they have contributed to society. Martial arts is another one, right? We talk about Shaolin and all this other stuff, the Buddhist temples and all that stuff. So they have a lot of culture that have influenced the world when it come down to their contribution. And there's a lot of other civilizations that also have contributed as well. But they're one of the ones, So, so again, shout out to the Chinese people in China and everything like that and things. So yeah. So other than that, we just over here just talking about the travel community. And I hope this inspires people to want to learn more about traveling, and whether if it's China or Africa, that's another thing. Africa is another place that I would like to visit. I have had some of the African food, Nigerian food I have eaten. They got the fufu and everything. Cameroon, they got some very interesting foods there. The dorlé that I had, and things like that. But yeah, a lot of these African countries, though, whether it's English or French influence because of the history. We know what went on there, but yeah, but the food, the culture, and stuff like that is very, very interesting. You know, so this is thing about that. Swahili is an easy language to learn. A little bit that I know, but when I do go back into it, because a lot of people from Kenya and other parts, they know, speak the Swahili and everything. So no matter where you're going, though, Japanese, konnichiwa, ginki desu ka, yukiri hanashite kudasai, which means please speak slowly, right? So the bowing is very customary in their cultures and stuff like that. Trying to learn Japanese culture, which I have been studying as well too. They got a very interesting culture for the Japanese, I must say. They're everything in their society, everything has a purpose and it's practical. You know what I'm saying? Simple, practical in their society and stuff, man. I've seen things over there that I wish we had over here in America. And it's just one of those things, like they got the bullet train, man. They got many ways of travel. The food is out of sight. The infrastructures and their buildings and stuff. Here we are, supposed to be the first world nation, but you look at our infrastructures, they look like out of third world. I mean, I can't tell if we're in America or Mexico. You know what I'm saying? It's really sad. Potholes, the roads are like craters and stuff. Not over there in Japan. My guy was telling me everything works. Everything is on time. People are respectable. They respect other people's space. No loud talking. In fact, going on a train or a bullet train over there and not hearing nobody talking is actually kind of different when you really think about it, right? So it's things like that that I really admire. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I just really want to put this out there and things. But let's go ahead and go back into Mosley McCormick.
It comes with audio CD and cassette tapes. Colloquial Somali. Then I have this university course. Unfortunately, I don't have the audio. This doesn't have the audio yet, but this is a very good course. That. Also, I have a phrase book, Somali to English, English to Somali. Then I have a Somali dictionary, English to Somali, Somali to English. Then I have this Somali dictionary. This is just Somali to English though. That, and also, you guys have probably, if you guys have watched my level up videos, you've seen me buy these two courses. This is a dictionary of business, Somali. It goes with this book here. All Somali, no English. Then I have this book, History of Somali, Things in Somalia, Timelines of Somali History. All Somali, no English. Then I have children's books. These books come with audio, by the way. Drop the audio.
Oh yeah. And by the way, that's the best way to learn a language. If you invest in buying children's books, because you can learn at a child level at the same time. I can see why he's recommending that book to people and stuff like that. And this is Somali, the Somali language, man. You know what I'm saying? You ain't seen too many people. This brother here learning Somali, the Somali language. I mean, man, he was fired when he was alive, man. I miss him, man, because like I said before, he really put it down. He predates way before all this nonsense of what travel bros and all the travel passport bros and all that stuff had to offer. Because this brother here, he was using his head, learning the language, right? Devoted and taking time leveling up. And that's what I'm going to encourage again, is leveling up. no matter if you're a man or male or female, level up on the language, because that's going to actually help you when by the time you go over there. So that's why I'm leveling up and going back, you know what I'm saying, and learning more. So when I go over there and things like that, and then once I'm immersed in the language, in the culture, the language is going to come even faster. You know what I'm saying? Because if I'm sitting in a Chinese restaurant, you know, and saying ni hao or ni hao ma, and I can say fu wu yan, that means waiter, please. You know, so you over here asking for a waiter in Mandarin Chinese, you know, as a foreigner in their country, learning and speaking their language. Man, that's a lot to be said. You know what I'm saying? It's admirable. You know what I'm saying? When a person that when they see a foreigner speaking or trying to speak their language, you know, I mean, that's a beautiful thing though, you know? So yeah. So Moses McCormick, he was really putting it down. Let me see what else he has to say.
I made a video about this before, but I'll just show them to you again. Then I have this one. And this comes with audio as well. There you see. So these are all the resources I have right now for Somali. Okay, all right. Those are the resources I have. Let
me just show you guys again, man. This guy here, and he went by Lao Shu. And Lao Shu is really means rat in the Mandarin Chinese. Lao Shu, you know. I learned that from my lessons, but
Good morning,
yeah,
guys. Okay, today's video.
This brother was
I want
on
to
it.
talk about this common question I've been getting lately.
Yeah, he was on it.
In general, how many languages am I studying at the same time? This is a very common question. So I'm going to go through a few things, show you guys what I'm doing to learn these multiple languages and whatnot. So the first thing I would like to show you guys is these charts here. Now, I talked about these charts before. Basically, this is a listening process, both a listening and shadowing process. Okay. And I tried this. Well, when was it? Sometime last year, I tried this approach and I found it to be very effective. Okay. Now, these are a lot of languages, as you can see. Yeah, a lot of languages. How are you studying? You can't study all those languages at one time. Okay. Now, basically what you're doing here, you're not even really studying. That's the funniest part. It's like cheating. We're not even studying. We're cheating over here. Okay. So how are we cheating? Now, like I told you guys before, I take 1 year and I choose 4 different languages, right? I need to get that out the way first before I start jumping all around the place. Okay. So this year I chose to focus on what? Cambodian, Icelandic, Lithuanian, and Estonian, which I'm working right now. I'm working on Icelandic. Okay. So I choose those languages first, and I set like certain time I spend on them, like at least 3 hours. I will say 3 hours is enough for intensive study. So I spend a full 3 hours working on Icelandic. Listen.
Yeah, we're gonna be talking about this. This is a part 1 to this, and I'm gonna really be hammering and stressing on learning languages. You heard what he said, you know, and he spends about 3 hours. I got another friend of mine that's learning Hebrew, and he spent probably more than 3 hours or so, maybe more. And his Hebrew, he's been that brother there that I know personally well, and I may have him on my show one day where he can basically, you know, explain and share his method, because everybody's method of learning is different and things. So the method that I like the children's books, because when you're learning at a preschool level of language, see, that makes a lot of sense, right? It's more logic to learn that way versus because everybody's method is a little different. But I recommend that somebody that can teach you, that is patient, and that can really handhold you and things like that. And learning, I find that no offense to the men, but I find that the women teachers are a lot more patient, and they seem to be more detail oriented. I had my buddy used to always say that. So again, I recommend if you can find a teacher and what works for you. Me, I particularly like a woman teacher, someone that's a lot more patient. Like my teacher, my Mandarin Chinese teacher, she was very, very patient, you know what I'm saying? And she was very, very detail oriented. And this is why when I speak, the people that speak Chinese, Mandarin Chinese, they understand me, because she hammered the fact of the learning, the course programs and so forth. So that's how I was exposed to it. And this is how I learned, So what may work for me may not work for you. But I find at the simplest form, so that's what works for me and things. So yeah, so Moses McCormick, this brother right here was really doing this thing, I mean, I'm just gonna say that right now. He was a guy that really, 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 mm-hmm, mm-hmm, yeah, yep. He was a brother, yeah, that really, really learned about that. I mean, really, really was on it. He was really, really on it, man. You know what I'm saying? Sorry about that. Got a text message. So he was really, really, really on it. That was the thing about it. So yeah. So the thing about it is simply this. So I just recommend you guys, try to level up as best as you possibly can, learning the language and stuff like that. And this is going to be more of a video than a live. I wasn't expecting much of a live today. Today is Friday. Everybody's out and about. Just kind of waiting to kill some time before I get out here on the road because I don't like rush hour traffic. I work either in the morning or later on at night, but I don't work around this midday stuff because there's just too many cars. It's Friday, traffic, accidents can occur. So you got to be very careful of that. But yeah, I mean, so that's the thing about it. I'm also going to be getting myself back in shape. I said that before, that I used to be thin like this brother here years ago. And I've been there before, but this time I'm going to lose weight, get the weight off and things as well. So that's going to be something I'm going to be working on as well when it comes down to health and stuff like that. I try to monitor and watch what I eat. And basically I've been doing a pretty good job of staying away from the fast food and things like that. And, sometimes it's rough, man. It's tough. But this is a lifestyle change, when it comes down to weight and health, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, what I'm going to do is work on that and work on the language and work on some other things. So, as far as with the IT thing, when I get myself back in school for that. So I got a laundry list of things that I'm working on to, go to the next level, leveling up, not just with the language, but my physicality, we're talking about money and finances as well. More and more of you should be investing in crypto as well, too. You want to be doing that. I got dividends. You want to go ahead and get into these things because this market is going to really boom. It's going to really boom, So, yeah, Trump has been doing all the right things as far as this economy. It's just that Jerome Too Late Powell, he won't cut the interest, he won't cut the rate. So that will bring the inflation all the way down. Yeah, he won't cut the rates. And we know why, because he works for the deep state. He's a deep state operative, you know what I'm saying? And this is the reason why. So, so basically whatever they're waiting on, it could be another event or could be another what we call a false flag operation, but they don't have the power like they used to because their funding has been cut off in multiple avenues, which I'm very, very happy about. That way they don't create a lot of trouble like they did before. The reason that our economy and a lot of things have never improved because they were still in the money. Now that the American people see that, and this is why they're in the process of being arrested. So I just wanted to mention that. So there's going to be a lot of great things happening here in America. You'll see, it's just right now, Jerome Powell is going to be he's almost out of there. but I know Trump got a replacement in there for the Federal Reserve. The Federal Reserve got to go. He's gonna put the Department of Treasury back in the old Federal Reserve building, change some things around, because we already know that taxes in this country is going to be done away with. And when we get rid of the Federal Reserve, I mean, everything is going to skyrocket when it come down to the inflation is going to drop way, 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 way down. And we're going to have gold and silver in circulation as well as with crypto and things like that. So as America excel for the American people, their old system falls. And this is another thing, ladies and gentlemen. So I felt the need of wanting to bring that up a little bit and things. I'm trying to segue that in. But for the most part of it, as far as with the travel community and things, yeah, I mean, and the food too. We haven't talked about the food. Oh, man. I have had real Chinese food. Ooh, man. And I have had, besides sushi, bento and a lot of other things. You know, their food is very, very healthy. They eat a lot of seafood and stuff. And I'm a big fan of sushi. You may or may not be a fan of sushi, and that's okay. But I love eating sushi and stuff and a lot of other things. So, yeah, this is part of it, you know. Food of the world. You know, I had Filipino food, Korean barbecue. There's a lot of other foods that I have eaten and things like that. So, yeah, it's one of those things. African food, Caribbean food, you know, Caribbean background, and things like that. So, yeah, it's a beautiful thing, ladies and gentlemen. A beautiful thing, you know. So, yeah. So, other than that, though, I think this is just primarily it. I'm trying to think of, I covered those basics, talking about leveling up with the language, you know, that's the thing. And I want to see, hopefully I can inspire a lot of these other brothers to clean up their act, clean up that passport act and get away from that. That's nothing but bad news. Come away from the passport, bros. I want to see you guys wherever country you are visiting. If it is for a wife, let's talk about that. Talk about your children. There's guys that are on here that's married. I know a guy that's married to a Japanese woman in Japan, and they have 2 beautiful baby girls. I know another guy as well too. Shout out to Ralph, brother Ralph. Ralph is a school teacher, also a content creator as well. I haven't ran across that brother's channel in a long time. But, you know, one of the early adopters, he was doing that way back then. But he was married. He was showing us the culture and everything in Japan. But he was married and he had his beautiful children and stuff like that, man. So I would like to see a lot of these guys, these brothers especially, man, because I'm going to tell you, man, you guys got a very bad, you know, representation, you know, your representation visiting these countries is very poor, man. People don't want to deal with you. They see a pack of brothers looking like hungry pack of wolves, man. And I don't travel like that anyway. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, you guys got to clean your act up, man. Y'all too old to be running around here like you're still in high school, man. Knock that stuff off. I want to see your sex pack things and all the rest of that stuff, man. You know, we don't do stuff like that, you know. So somebody got to tell you, it may as well be me, you know. I want to see some more learning a language, leveling up, getting educated, talking about the IT field and other things, teaching brothers the right way instead of grifting and things like that, man. You guys were grifting. I mean, just the same old YN mentality, man. You know, when it was good, when the brothers were going over there, and then they taking that, because you got your Pookie, Ray, and Man-Mans that go over there, you know, like with everything else, we can't stand them, you know. Get some knowledge in your head, because you look real bad. You look bad, man. It's like, you know, you're disgracing your family. You just look bad. Nobody want to hear that stuff, man. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to have to hear about another man inside of a woman and all this other stuff. Have some respect for the ladies too. Have some respect, because What you claiming that what they ain't doing in America no more, you doing the same crap over in these countries, and I'm tired of it. I really am. I'm really sick and tired of it. You guys are much too old for that though, man. If you had any father in your life, a real manhood in your life, you wouldn't even behave this way because you would have learned better younger, you know? So this is one of the remnants of a single mama raised boys because they still act like boys, emotional males and things like that, you know? Tongue all out, starved all out over women and things like that. It's pretty sad, man. Don't have no type of discipline whatsoever. You know, just really, really sad though. You know, tossing money around in these third world countries and stuff like that. So yeah, I just said I'm gonna start getting in there behind a little bit more as I talk about the other positive stuff, you know. Because like I said, this is the answer of what I'm talking about. Learning the language, getting fit, right? Um, you know, exploring the culture and stuff like that, and having and learning the customs as well. Everybody don't like a camera in their face. And since the YN passport bros, they have ruined it, man. I wouldn't walk around with a camera in people's face anyway. It's just weird. A lot of people don't like cameras. It's intrusive. I wouldn't even do that to for anybody because I wouldn't want somebody holding out a camera phone recording me. You know, I didn't ask for nobody's permission to do that. Stop doing that stuff. You look like a creep. You look like weirdos, man. Just weird behavior with these claim to be passport bros, man. You ain't learning nothing. You know what I'm saying? It's just a tricking culture that they just start recording it for clicks and views. That's all it really is, you know, because it takes money and it takes other resources to really be able to marry these women. They just over here on just that, man. So, and then, like I said before, I had a conversation earlier. I did my other live. STDs, HIV is very prevalent now in some of these Latin American countries and stuff, in some of these other areas. So, Pattaya, Thailand. I used to want to go. If I went to Thailand, I ain't gonna mention where I'm gonna go, because there's a Thai woman that I am good friends with and stuff, and she said she would show me around when I get there. But I have no plans in going to Pattaya, Thailand at all, because over there we already know, man. Them brothers have ran through that city over there, and it's just a bad reputation. I don't want to be associated. No country that I visit, I don't want to be associated with with that type of energy at all. I want to be able to go places where there's less of me and more of them, you know, versus the other way around. Because I don't need a pack of wolves to travel with me, you know. This ain't a wolf pack, you know. I'm grown. I'm a grown man. I can travel, and I don't mind traveling alone if I have to. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not doing all this other stuff. So yeah, so like I said, kicking them in the you know what for a change, because that's the thing about it, you know, and that's what got everybody so pissed off. They don't understand that they have offended a lot of women and people over here in America with this sexcapade stuff. If they would have shut their mouth and kept it on the download, it wouldn't be so bad. But they do this stuff for clicks and views, though, ladies and gentlemen. And that's why they're losing a lot of momentum right now, because it's ran through and burned through, man. And nobody got no time for this type of stuff, you know. So y'all need to clean y'all act up, especially you brothers. Y'all need to, you YNs, you guys need young ninjas. You guys need to clean y'all acts up, man. Y'all looking real bad, real bad. And this is why you're gonna have problems. You have problems with women. You got to pay for it. You got problems, man. You got to think about what you're doing. So yeah. So other than that, yeah, I just wanted to get off that thread. But yeah, I had to go ahead and put my 2 cents in. I'm gonna do a part 2 to this and a part 3, part 4, because like I said, for us older cats, we need to start giving these younger guys when they're traveling, you know, some word of advice and stuff, instead of just running on over there and acting, you know, just acting a fool, you know, because you are a representation where you come from. and already blacks are already in a minority group in America, especially. So when these old Pookie and Ray Rays, these YNs mess up, it messes it up for everybody. And that's why with us, we don't even want to be associated with no YNs. Said this before. I don't want to have anything to do with them because they're hard-headed, they don't listen, they're impatient, and this stuff is going to hurt and haunt them later on. But like I said, you don't want to be in the Japanese prison, you don't want to be in the Chinese prison, you don't even want to be in the Mexican prison, let alone Colombian prison. And where these brothers are headed, they're going to be wind up right in that damn prison over there, man, where nobody, and where you really going to be effed, if you know what I'm talking about. So I'm gonna leave that alone for right now. Other than that, yeah, so positive vibes, we on the right thing. Travel community is what it is. We are a travel community. So whether you're a male or female, if you want to just be able to go out, my cousin, she's going to what's in Mexico, trying to think of the city that she's going to, but she's going over there in Mexico next year. She got a residence for 6 years. So she also worked remotely, so she's excited about that. So she's going to go over there to Mexico, stay over there and things. She's been to Japan, so her visit over in Japan, she actually had an opportunity to marry a Japanese guy before, man. But, my cousin wasn't interested. And I think a lot to do with her mother, because her mother, what I'm saying, as our parents age, it's a little tough. But she had an opportunity. My cousin could have been married like 8 times over, 10 times over if she really wanted to. Because this Japanese guy, both of them wanted to marry her, you know what I'm saying? And one of them really had some money. He came from some money, you know what I'm saying? So when it came down to taking care of her, that wouldn't have been no problem at all, because financially, his parents would set him up, So yeah, so she enjoyed it. So I think she stayed about a month in Japan, and she started losing weight. She started. She was walking every day. She told me, because in Japan, people walk a lot over there. And the foods that they eat, they don't eat a lot of processed foods. They eat like plant-based stuff with meat, and just small portions. And they may eat like 5-6 times a day, but it's small portions with walking and other things. They walk a lot, They walk a lot. You don't really need a car in Japan, really, because walking is something that Americans, and we're on our way of being healthy, being a healthy country again, and things. Shout out to RFK Jr. that's really doing a thing as well. He's been really making strides in getting rid of these petroleum-based dyes, the dangerous dyes that are found in a lot of these snacks and other types of food and drink and things. It's causing all type of havoc. So he's really been doing his thing in regards to that, promoting wellness, bringing in a lot of Mexican soda pop. And I've been seeing in some of these convenience stores and stuff, where they actually have like Pepsi, real Coca-Cola, like back in the days that I remember growing up drinking, Sprite and Squirt and Fanta and the orange and the pineapple flavor. So real cane sugar, ladies and gentlemen, not this high fructose corn syrup stuff, but the real stuff in a glass bottle. That's what I love too, and the bottles are only so high, but that's all you really need, and things. And that's what we used to drink. We used to drink that Mountain Dew before it had all that junk in it. They put all this crap and stuff in there now, and that's the thing where that equals diabetes, and a lot of other ailments, So we're on our way of people getting healthy in this country again. Therefore, these dialysis clinics should start dropping down and stuff like that, because, the way we were heading, the fat nation, it's pretty bad, man. Potato chips, which I don't eat anymore. I used to eat potato chips, but yeah, that's the thing about it, though. Potato chips and all kind of crap, all this crap, boy, I tell you. But yeah, but other than that though, man, so that's just been mainly it, I just wanted to share a little bit about more Moses McCormick and stuff. And I'm gonna do on a part 2 in regards to this, because this is the guy, like I said, that motivated me. Yep, a good old before he passed away though, man. He died young, man, which is another thing. And I believe he had some type of heart issue, if I'm correct. But yeah, it was a sad loss in the community seeing that brother, because he had so much to offer the world, and he was teaching a lot of people, man, a lot of whites, blacks, and others, teaching them language, stuff that you can learn and hold on to. Because once you learn the knowledge, they can't take it away from you, ladies and gentlemen. And you're a lot more marketable when you're able to speak the language, man. So that's a beautiful thing, though. So, so other than that, that's one of the things in regards to that, though, man. The way I see it is, if I can do it, I know you guys can do it as well, too. You can get out there and learn the language and stuff. And, you can be able to count sun, sut, wu, Leo, chi, ba, geo, sure. Sure E, sure R, sure sun, sure sut, sure wu, sure chi, sure ba. I can count all the way up to 100. But that's how you count in Mandarin Chinese, So these are things that I have been taught and learned, body parts and other things, These were things that I was taught by taking and learning a private, taking private lessons, because you do learn. The quality of learning is far better learning in private lessons versus a group setting. I wouldn't do a group. If I had to do a group setting, I wouldn't do a group setting probably no more than 4 people, because after that, when you got one-on-one, it's stellar, and that's what I was getting. I got the attention, and I paid for these classes out my own pocket, out my own pocket. And at the time, she was only charging like $20 for a 30-minute session. And it was well worth its weight in gold. Sometimes I would do like an hour, which is $40, which is pretty cool. I answered an ad on Craigslist, right, to learn a language, So I will be getting back in contact with her to go over some other stuff, because like I said before, my friend and things like that, I like learning from women, and this is just with me. I like learning from women more so than I do with men, because again, women are a little bit more patient when it comes down to stuff like that. Our first teachers are our mothers. So once again, it is what it is. You guys have a little bit of an advantage. Not saying that men can't teach. There's some guys that can teach too. But for me, for what I have found, I tried some of the male teachers, not so much, But with a woman teacher to her own, it's a beautiful thing. So other than that, ladies and gentlemen, go ahead and stop the live. I was hoping a little bit more participation today, but I forgot today is Friday. Everybody's out cashing checks, going out to dinner, all that great stuff. You know how that is, seeing the family and stuff, all the good things one day that I'll be part of, Then when I start getting on my weight loss, I'm going to be doing things on that, talking about where I was weight-wise all the way down to where I am now. So, So other than that, I thank you all for watching Some Random Guy Speaks. I always try to keep it real as much as I possibly can. I think I kind of covered all the basics and stuff, And what I've just been doing is bringing my laptop with me, because I noticed with the audio and everything is fire, though. I'm coming in loud and clear. I know I'm coming in like fire right now. So, and I even got the windows down. Beautiful, nice sunny day, natural lighting. You guys can see right now. So look at my face and skin, though, boy. Got those red undertones, Yep. So this is my natural skin color and things like that. So with the sun and things like that. So yeah. So it looks real, real good, So boy, it's blurry without my reading glasses on. Let me tell you. But yeah, we did an hour, a little over an hour. So I appreciate you all I appreciate you for coming in. And look like I've been missing a couple of shouts out too. Look like I've been missing Sherry too. Sherry lady, Sherry lady, Sherry lady. I like that song, you know. Yeah, and then we also have Omega. We also have John Paddock as well. We have Dan the Roadkill. What's that? Dan. Dan. What's his name? I mean, that's what's his name? Roadkill. Man, I started to forget some of the names now, man. Dan the Corn Man. There we go. Cause he's from Ohio. Dan the Corn Man. You know. And I ain't gonna forget about Billy Sharp. Keeping it sharp with Billy Sharp. You know. We got my man, my boy. I can't leave out. You already know though, too. You already know. Ain't gonna leave. We're gonna leave. I can't leave out my boy though. You know who that is, Dwight. Yep, Dwight. That's one of my main mans there, my brother Dwight. You know, yeah, Dwight. To love watching my lives. I appreciate the support, brother Dwight. Let me see who else. There's some others on here as well too. You know, I know it's something Roadkill. You know, he pops on though too, you know. Yeah, but other than that, though, I'm gonna go ahead and stop the live. You all take care. You guys are probably, by the time this post, you guys will probably watch it as a video, which is cool, and things like that. So I just did all this stuff to encourage language and learn, and as well as the food, the culture, the art and entertainment. I'm gonna be bringing my cameras, taking photos when I go overseas, going over there, because I've never been to Japan or China, you know. But I do plan on, when I do go over there, to take the photos and stuff and just meet people. That's what he was telling me too. He said, don't be alarmed. He said, when you go to China, people are going to take photos of you. I'm going to feel like a celebrity, you know, when I go over there though, you know, because they don't get a chance to see foreigners every day, you know. And when foreigners, because, you know, they love foreigners, you know. They love foreigners, you know. And I know I'm going to be a foreigner in their country. You know, I stand out. I can't do no wrong if I wanted to. I stand out. Oh, yeah, that black guy over there, you know. You know what I'm saying? Not that I go over there planning on getting in any type of trouble. But like I said, though, you know, you're going to be learning the customs, you know, stay away from political topics. That's what my friend said when we go over there. You know, there's certain areas that foreigners cannot enter. So, and everything. So I'm not going over there to be no rebel, and cause no kind of confusion and none of that kind of stuff. It's not me. But other than that, I thank you all for listening to Some Random Guy Speaks, you know. Once again, I'm your host, Tony G. I enjoy doing this live stream for those that listen, you know, and things like that. You know, if I was in my studio, Sherry, I'll put my little special little harp song on for you, because you like that sound, you know, as well, you know. Sherry was one of my early, you know, moderators and stuff as well, though, too. So, you know, she always liked my lives and stuff, you know. Shout out to the farmers, you know. Shout out to the farmers. Salute to the military people as well. Yeah, it's a beautiful thing. All right, and the truck driving people as well. Truckers, you know. Yep. I rock with all you guys. All of y'all I do, you know. I really do. All right. Peace. Oh, yeah, don't forget to like. If you want to give me a like or whatever like that. And if by the time you watch this video, there'll be a video, you know. But I appreciate it if you could smash the like button and things and get some comments down there. I usually do try to get back on the comments when I'm not busy. All right. Peace and chicken grease. I am out.